My name is Ugochukwu Obunaya, and I signed up for content writing class. And so far, it has been transformative. I know coming here, I had expectations, obviously, but then what I received and what I've received so far is much more than I bargained for. I was writing before, then I stopped. So coming here, I was trying to build from scratch, trying to just find myself back in the market again. So I was thinking it's just going to be basic knowledge of little things you have to know, but then it has been more than basic. This is pro level, much more than what I thought. I've learned more than what I even knew before. So it has been really amazing for me. Now, even beyond the teachings of content writing, the spiritual sessions, the prayer, the worship, everything has been overwhelming. It has been so wonderful for me. And I'm so grateful to Incubator for this wonderful opportunity. You don't get this easily these days, but then they've made this available to us, and I'm so grateful to that. And I'll recommend this to anyone I meet, anyone that is interested in getting more skills, either in writing, cyber security, web development. Everyone should know about this, definitely, and I'm going to make sure I spread the news and spread the gospel. Thank you so much. I look forward to much more and exploring my skills in the world at large for impact in God's kingdom.
Can you hear me? Okay, fantastic. Great. So I don't think there's anybody else. Oh yeah, people are here. Okay. Hi everyone. Happy Wednesday. How has your Wednesday been? If you're in school, how's school? If you're working, I hope you're home now. And if you're working remotely, I hope you have logged out of work. So let me know, how's your day been? Hi. Hello, Umana. Hello, Nkume Ngozi. Hello, Sylvia. Abiola, good evening. Oluwafermi Timothy, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. And yeah, Dorcas, you said you've been on medication. I you said you've been on medication. I pray quick recovery for you. Okay, I pray you feel better soon. Okay, so my day. Oh, Katie asked my day. My day was fine. I work remotely. I work from home, so yeah, my day was fine. I worked till about 5 o'clock, and then I had to shut down my laptop so I could prepare for this class pretty much. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. For the assignment, okay. So you were supposed to submit it, I think by LMS, but I had mentioned on Monday that the technical support would work on this for you. But I mean, since I don't think they did, so we'll move the assignment submission date to tomorrow, and hopefully they will pass the message across to you on how you will submit it. Okay, so yeah, so today's topic is understanding the role and types of virtual assistants. That's what we're doing today. But before we go into today's topic, so this is me, Miss Your Facilitator. This is me. This is my bio. My LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Some of you started to reach out, and yeah. So if you want to connect with me further, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Oladotsojo, and I'll be happy to connect with you. And please, well, for some of you, I think I'm sure we'll get to that, but your LinkedIn needs help. Like I saw some of your LinkedIn connections, and it really need, if that's the LinkedIn account you're using to apply for jobs, you need to, what's the word now? Your LinkedIn needs help, basically, right? And some actually had good profiles anyway, but that's also part of the curriculum, and I'm sure it will be addressed. So please, when it's addressed, I need you to run, like I need you to fly even, and make sure that your LinkedIn is updated and optimized, because some of the profiles I saw, they are literally begging for help, please. Okay, so yeah, that's that about that. Now we'll have a very quick icebreaker session, just something fun, to light up the evening, right? And to also, to just help us ease into the class. So, if you were hired today as a virtual assistant for a celebrity, who would it be, and what would you do for them? So let me see your answers. If today someone comes to you and says, "Oh, Queen, I want to hire you for or give me a blank check to work with any celebrity of your choice," who would that person be, and what would you be doing for the person? So tell me, not just their name, but what you'll be doing for them. Tell me. I'll be reading your answers. Oh, somebody says, I believe you're saying Sumisola. Queen Judith, I believe you meant Sumisola. Oh, fantastic. So why Sumisola? What would you be doing for her, rather? What would you be doing for her as a virtual assistant? What would you be doing? Oh, whilst the icebreaker is on, let me turn on my video since. Okay, somebody says Vicky James, help with online marketing and answering emails. Okay. Someone says Aliko Dangote. That means you want to be an executive virtual assistant. I'll come to that later in the course of the class when we look at the different types of assistants that we have. Someone says Nathaniel Bassi. Okay. Someone says, let me see, Nathaniel Bassi. Okay, said I'll manage his calendar. Owen said Nathaniel Bassi, I'll manage his calendar. Okay. Someone said Funke Akindele, I'll help her manage her calendar. Another person says, Pastor Leke Adeboye, Otedola, I'll manage this calendar, schedule the business meeting. So you see, all of you that are choosing like high ranking executives, I hope you know that, like I said, I'll talk about this later when we get into the class proper. Because if you're going to assist a very high ranking executive, I've seen assistants to executives like this that literally have an MBA. That's to tell you how highly skilled you have to be able to handle them. Or imagine someone who's at the Jews, that Pastor Adeboye's P. You can't even slack because those people are really, really high up there. But yeah. So I'm still reading all of you. Oh, someone says Dr. Ben Carson. Bimbo Ademoye. Okay. Dosi Oyeko. I'll be organizing a schedule and travel arrangements. Okay. Someone says Yabo Joe to work on her time management and add value to her business. We answer like this. When you say to work on her time management, okay, and then add value to her business, what value are you adding? Right? That's like a very vague answer, because if you tell me you're adding value, it tells me, okay, it's easy to say, like, what value are you adding to my business, right? What value are you adding to my job? It just feels like you've not done your homework and you're just saying, oh, what value are you adding? Or you want to come and add value. So that does not really feel like, it's quite generic, right? So if you are, it would be much more effective if you had said, oh, I want to be, let me see, what example can I use? It would have been much more effective if you were very, what's the word now? If you were much more specific as to how you want to add the value. Pretty much, that's it. How do you want to add this value to the business? It will have been much more effective that way. Okay, so I mean, we'll come into that later. So someone said for Kakindele to manage her daily activities. So you want to be her personal virtual assistant. Fantastic. Another person said, Vicky James, I'll help her take orders. Okay. Queen said to Miss Alan, I'll be handling her social media page, her everyday routine, and also replying to her emails. Oh, wow. Another person said, Foke Akindele, you really love Foke Akindele here. So I'll help her manage her calendar and email. Yabo Ojo, social media virtual assistant. Another Foke Akindele again. Foke Akindele really needs to come and see us. Like, she has a lot of fans here. Another person says a musician like, okay, Oluwaferemi says a musician like Minister Bisun Yeko help with his booking schedules and so on. Yes, there are people who actually need that, One day says TY Bello, she will help with email support, handle her various social media handles, and post recent jobs. Okay, that's amazing. Someone said Mercy Johnson, I'll help her fix her meetings. Okay. Someone says, Sophia Jerry says, Pastor Adeboye, managing his emails. Okay, more grace. All of you that want to handle high profile personalities, it's a lot of work. Like I said, I'll come to that in the course of the class, but just understand that it is a lot of work. If you have to handle high profile personalities, oh God, it's a lot of work. Okay, so another person says RMD. Well, you didn't tell us what you want to do after RMD. Okay. Oh, another says Minister Mesichinwo. That's Gloria Mark says Minister Mesichinwo. I'll be scheduling her appointments. Okay. Nice, fantastic. Well done, everyone. This is good. Good. Someone said Bimbo Ademoye. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing. This was just meant to be an icebreaker to, ease everyone into today's class. And so I hope we're now well relaxed and ready for the class. Okay, well, before we go into the class, I want us to do like a review. So initially, I had planned for us to review the take-home assignments, but since you didn't do it, we'll just move on to a recap of the previous class. So remember, like I said, take-home should be submitted tomorrow. I believe that the technical support will provide information about this. Sorry, let me see if I can just quickly leave them a message. Hello. Okay, so done. Yeah, I believe that'll be attended to. Okay, so yes, I know. So that's fine. I have sent them a message, so I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will reach out to you with further information about how to submit the assignment. Okay, so recap of the previous class. Tell me, what did you learn from the previous class? What did you take home? What value did you get? And have you started to implement anything? Please let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Ooh. Okay. So Peace Kiki says VA is proactive, does extra, and knows how to work independently. Okay. Esther says I learned that I must be proactive and I must give value. Okay. Oyedeko Olatoyin says I learned about mindsets. Sorry, let me just go back to that. I learned about mindset. I'm not just helping, but I'm offering value. Oroluwa says simple tasks and the tools to assist us with them. Okay. Tifa says I learned I'm not just helping, but I'm creating value. Yeah. Wonder says we have to do above our expectations. See yourself as a strategic business partner. Yes, correct. Sophia says last week we learned about who a virtual assistant. It wasn't last week, it was just Monday. We learned about who a virtual assistant is and types of VA, their simple tasks, the tools they use, and their client types. We also learned about the VA mindset. Correct. I learned that I'm a problem solver. Yes, not a robot. It's true. You're not a robot, you solve problems. Because I mean, if they just needed somebody who could just, if it was just going to be in and out, like just put in and just input and output, then just get a robot or a machine. But they need a human being with a functioning, like that's why they got a human being that can reason, because you're not expected to function like a robot. Okay, so Bathsheba says that I learned that as a virtual assistant, I'm meant to just provide value, not just help, and I must be proactive. Yes, true. For follow day Dorcas, you can watch. You said this is your first day in class, and this to anybody else who today's the first day. You can always watch the video from Monday's class. It's on YouTube, and I'm sure it would really help you because it's a foundation for today's class. Today's class is a continuation of that. So please watch the video. Thank you. So Oluwatobi Loba Adegbeson says, I learned that as a virtual assistant. I learned that a virtual assistant adds value to an organization or to a business. Then Gloria Mark says, I learned that there's no glory in doing what you are only told to do, but going beyond that. That's true. That's so true. Like, that's my mantra. Like, just meeting expectation. Like, there's really nothing, right? There's nothing in, like, it doesn't hold any glory. There's no wow effect in doing what is expected of you to do, right? But then when the wow comes in is when you go above expectations, like, wow, you did this? And I mean, except you are pleased with just the ordinary, it's okay, you can just maintain that level. But if you really want to be sought after, highly sought after, then you should aspire to go, above the ordinary. So yeah, that's it. Okay, I can see that a lot of you were following. You followed very well. Ibuku Ajakaye, I did not say side chico on Monday. I said side kick, not side chick. But yeah, so VA is not a side kick, but a business partner. Thank you. Please, it's not, I can see people saying side chick. It's not side chico. Side kick. That's what I said, not side chick. Thank you. So, yeah, for everyone who's today is their first class, please go back to Monday's class to watch the video. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a business partner. Blessed always says I'm a business partner and not a robot. Yes, Who is science, clinic, chemistry, physics, and mathematics? I don't know your name. You never can tell, who knows? I might want to give out gifts and then I'm seeing science, clinic. I mean, I don't know your name. But yeah, I learned a virtual assistant must bring in value and must be a strategic business partner. So yes, that's correct as well. Okay, this is fantastic. Very, very, very fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your thoughts on the class. I'm glad that you were able to I'm glad that you learned and you gained value from the previous class. Okay? So now we're moving into today's class. All right? Sorry. Give me a So we're going into today's class, and so today we're focusing on the role of a virtual assistant. The role of a virtual assistant, and first is what are businesses really looking for when they hire a virtual assistant? And the answer is simple. They're not just looking for task doers, which is why I I compared it with being a robot. Like you're not just there to just input output. That's not what you're there for, right? They're looking for result generators. Each virtual assistant role has strategic importance, and it's not about just being a helper. It's about being an asset. You should get to a point, right, where your assistant, if when you tell your executive that, oh, I'm resigning, they will literally feel like their life is about to scatter. Do you get it? You don't want to be that person that your executive is saying, I don't even know what your use is. Even there's no difference. Since you came into my space, there's no difference between you being here. If I was like my more work has even been added because I now have to start managing you as well. That's not for an assistant. Maybe like I said, I remember I said something to that. That's why you hardly see. Maybe there are, but they're not a lot. You hardly see things like virtual assistant intern. Because for a person to need an assistant, it means they already have their hands full. It means they're already very busy, right? So they don't even have the time to begin to train you to say, okay, so this is how you do, that is what you do. They don't even have that time. Do you get it? So that is why with people like this, you have to position yourself as an asset such that the day you decide to even go on leave, it just feels like, oh my gosh, how would I survive without my assistant? Like you are literally like an asset to them. You are literally what now? How do I even describe this? Like you are indispensable. I'm telling you. I remember when I think my first job as an assistant, when I was going to resign, like when I wanted to resign, I had sent in my application letter. Sorry, not application letter, my resignation letter rather. My executive did not accept it. Said no, no, like we're not accepting this. Do you get it? Like no, and that's because by God's grace, I had become an asset to her. She didn't see me as a liability, like, oh, what are you? Because if that's the case, if I said I am resign, do you understand? Like, but when I told her I was resigning, she said no, she didn't accept my resignation. I had to work there for I think about another, I think maybe 7 months to about a year before I now resigned again. And she had to accept. And even after I had resigned, she still reached out to me after I had gone to say, oh, okay, so, can we reconsider? That's to tell you that you can actually be an asset. Oh, people are asking me to increase my screen. Okay, Texas, increase your screen. Is it better? But now I can't even see your charts. That's it. I don't know if this is better. Please give me a sec. Is it better? I need to know if it is better, if that worked. so that I can connect my. Hold on 1 second. Let me connect somewhere else. Hold on, and then I'll see your chat. Just hold on. The screen, this slide is still small. Don't worry. I know, but just hold on. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to connect on another device because I won't be able to see your feedback if I increase like that. So just hold on so that I can. Let me connect on another device before I zoom my screen. Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna connect now. Okay, so I will do that now. So let me see your comments. Is it better? Can you see it better now? Can't I see my screen? Is it better? I have zoomed, like I'm literally on full screen mode. No, it's not better. Okay, it's not better. Let me see. What can I do now? 1 second. Let me see. Hold on. I'm still checking. Let me. So how about now? How about now? Is it better? I don't think it's better, but it's still same. Wow. Or is it because of the slide I'm on? I mean, I've tried everything. Let me see from here. So it's still same. It's still same, right? Oh, wow. I don't know. I've tried everything. I've tried everything else on my end here, and it is. I've tried everything else, and it still works. It's still same. I've zoomed out, and it didn't do anything. I have used full screen mode as well. Let me see. Maybe what I'll do next time when working on my slide is to increase the fonts. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just increase the fonts next time so as to avoid things like this, okay? That's what I'll do going forward. But for now, please, let's continue so that we don't take much of our time. But I've noted this, and so for next time, I'll make sure the fonts are better. And yeah, that's it. I'll just make sure the fonts are better for next time. Thank you. So can we come back to the class now, please? Because we already have this is 27 minutes, almost 30 minutes into the class, and we're still like on particularly the first slide. Okay, so you can do that. And I mean, I'm actually here. Let me see if you can zoom. Okay. But yeah, let's continue. Okay, so like I said, I'll just I'll take note of this for my subsequent slides. Make sure to increase the font size. Sorry, everyone. Let's just continue like this. Okay, so what was I saying now? I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Okay, so people are already preferring solution. They're saying you should put your phone in landscape mode. So if you put your phone in landscape mode, somebody said if I'm not appearing on the screen, it will be bolder. Okay, so let me turn off my camera. Yay! How about now? Yes, it's actually bolder. So I've turned my camera off. Great. Thank you. Who gave a suggestion? Let me look for the person who gave that suggestion to call you out and say thank you. Where's the person? Gold Esther Foods. Thank you. So yeah, I think it's better now, right? Yay. Thank you. Gold Esther Foods for that suggestion. Yeah. All right. So we can continue now. I'm actually happy because I don't have to show my face. All right, so let's continue. That was on a lighter note, by the way. So yeah, I was just talking about being an asset, right? Being an asset to your executive, you know, being an asset to them such that they would not have to, they would see you as an asset. Like they would not want you to leave. Like, you know, how it's just when you become an asset to someone, you as an assistant, you feel like your work is valued. You make their lives easier. You become indispensable. You know how it feels when you know that this work I'm doing, I know I'm getting it. Do you understand? So that's the thing, right? So that's something we need to get to. And you don't become an asset by just doing bare minimum. Do you know? You don't become an asset by just doing okay, just what is expected, and that is it. No, right? You go above and beyond. Of course, this is not to say that you should now slave away or just no more work-life balance because you're trying to become an asset. No, this is not it. But there's a way you actually can position yourself as indispensable, as valuable, as giving so much value, right? That you will practically, in fact, you will never be out of job. I'm telling you. Right, so please, that's something you should understand. Don't see, a lot of people see virtual assistants as gets money quick. They see it as they feel like virtual assistants role, is get and let me see, what is the fastest way to get into tech? What's the quickest way to earn in dollars? What's the fastest way to work from home? Okay, just put two and two together, virtual assistant, ma'am. Trust me, especially for people who mention, like I said, I'm coming to that. For people who said they want to work with like people like Dangote or Tedola, well, trust me, if you want to be virtual assistant to people like that, you will be much more skilled than even a regular 9 to 5 hour. I'm telling you. But like I said, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'll come to that, okay? So like I said, please do not see virtual assistant. There's money in it, though. Like, no, I'm telling you, there's money. You can earn cool dollars, cool pounds, cool euros, right? But it's not a place for you to just say, let me just do jama jama. Sorry if you're not Nigerian here. Jama jama is like, let me just add this one here, add that one there. That is not that kind of rule, because this is the thing is you can do the difference between being a virtual assistant and just being the difference between being a virtual assistant, right, and just being maybe working as a tech support or maybe working as somebody else, maybe like an economist or whatever, because as a virtual assistant you are working with human beings. If you're an accountant, for example, you are working with you're working with filings, you're working with your paper, your computer, you are doing your debit and credits, profit and loss. But if you're working as a virtual assistant, you are working with human beings, with all of their dynamism. Trust me, you need a lot of emotional intelligence. You need a lot of proactiveness. You need a lot of reading the room. You need, in fact, you are a superhuman. So it is people that don't really understand the nitty-gritty of what it entails that would think that it's a get-rich-quick scheme. When you go to all these tech all these tech roles or tech all these people that have crash courses for tech, and they tell if you ask them, look, I want to quickly get into tech, what's the quickest way? And they'll tell you, just virtual assistants, one of the quickest ways to get into tech. Most of them have never been assistants before, so they cannot really understand the dynamism of that role, the dynamics of that role. They don't really understand it. Do you understand? So please, I want us to understand this. Learn the ropes of the job. You don't want to, the worst thing you don't want to do is to go to someone who is already very busy with their lives, looking for somebody to offset their business and make their lives easier, and then you now go and become a burden to them because you don't understand how to be an assistant. You don't want to do that, okay? So we're going into the roles of the different kinds of assistants that we have. I want us to listen closely, right? And so that we can understand, what these things are about. All right. Thank you. I hope we are together at this point. I hope we're together. I hope we're together. Please let me know. Okay, great. Yes, we are. Fantastic. Okay, so now let's move on. Now, types of virtual assistants. Okay, the different types of virtual assistants that we have. We have number one, administrative assistant. This is this is the most common one. When you hear people say things like, oh, virtual assistant, this is the first type of assistant that comes to mind. In fact, this is where most people put all of the assistants that we have. They feel like everybody's is an administrative assistant. So they put everybody in this bucket. When they hear virtual assistant, this is the first thing that comes to mind. Administrative assistant. That's the first thing. And with administrative assistants, you call these ones are the organizers. Sorry, give me a sec. Okay. So for the administrative assistants, these are the organizers, right? These are the ones that keep the business organized. They are on time, they're efficient. First, when anywhere you hear virtual assistants, this is the first place of people. This is what people think. This is what people think there is to virtual assistants. Administration, right? And of course, administration is a key part of virtual assistants, but it is not the only thing. Okay, there are other aspects of virtual assistants. This is just one of them. So administrative VA, that's the backbone, right? Like you're about to say emioga, but this one is not emioga, sha. This is like the backbone of VAs. They are the lifeblood of operations. They ensure that the daily tasks that keep a business moving do not become overwhelming to business owners. Think of them as, now imagine you are on a plane, right? And on a plane you have like the captain, the pilot, and then you have the co-pilots, right? So think about them as like the co-pilots, right? They're just checking the controls, planning flight routes, handling unexpected topics, just ensuring that everything that the business needs to move and function and run optimally is working. So imagine if, for example, you are an administrative VA for a logistics business. You are there ensuring that orders are well processed. You are there ensuring that, the motorbikes, if it's a dispatch company, for example, ensuring that all the motorbikes, are serviced as at when due. You are calling the service agent or whoever does the servicing for the bikes. If there's an issue, maybe one of the bikes has a mechanical fault, the radar will call you and say, oh, so and so happened. You'll be like, okay, I'll call them. If you need to schedule insurance, right? If you need to schedule insurance, maybe if you need to speak to insurance, rather, maybe something happened and you need to file insurance claims, you are the one calling insurance. Oh yes, we have paid our insurance, you are the one sending the emails. If something happens, there's a customer that's, you are just there ensuring you're the engine, like at the engine room, ensuring everything that the business needs to function optimally is working properly. Administration, right? Email management, you are there responding to emails. You are scheduling travel. If your executive wants to travel, you are there to book their flights, right? Creating SOP is standard operating procedure. You are there creating SOPs. Oh, this is the timeline, standard operations, handling internal communication, all of that. That's basically it, right? That's what happens. That's an administrative VA. Just think of yourself as the engine room that keeps everything going together, right? That's it. And the thing is, without imagine a business that does not have proper correspondence or proper scheduling or proper task coordination. it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of chaos. So administrative VAs is like, just imagine them as the peace. They bring calm to the chaos. They hold everything together, right? And the different types of tasks, like I had mentioned, the coordinate meetings, handling invoices, calendar management. They do all sorts. Anything that has to do with administration, they do it. Filing of, they can tell you, we need to file our this, we need to pay insurance, we need to pay one invoice, they handle all that. Do you understand it? They handle somebody internally called and say, so and so, madam wants to travel, madam needs wants you to book a ride for her at her connect. Just think about, that's what they do. And the good thing about administrative VAs is that they fit into all industries. All the industries. They fit into every industry. Because there's no company that does not need administration. There's no organization, rather, that does not need administration. Every organization needs one. So there's no industry and administrative VA does not fit in. I mean, every industry needs organization. Every company needs an organization, right? No matter how, even if the company is just starting out, they need organization. It's just that sometimes they don't see the need yet to hire a VA. But every company, even as a human being, even as a person, you need organization even. So that's something with administrative VAs, right? And of course, your tools you can use this. This is not exhaustive, by the way, but things like Google Workspace, all the Google suites, Calendly, to schedule meetings, also schedule your executives meetings. Notion, Notion is to save. It's basically like how do I describe this? It's to save your documents, important information. It's like a content manager. Then Slack is for communication, right? It's a corporate communication tool that I use internally. So yeah, that's then like an example again. Imagine when you have like maybe one of all this, like I had asked you about celebrities, they need administration. They need administration. So yeah, and like I said, with administrative VAs, they practically fit into every industry. And you know why they're very, very important? Because they make space for business leaders, like business executives, to do their most important work, which is thinking and leading. Which is why as an administrative VA, you cannot afford to let things slip through your hands. Imagine you work for a company that's maybe supplies cakes, and somebody placed an order for what's it called now? Placed an order for a cake, and maybe normally the purchase order, the internal purchase order always passes through you internally. You have to order for the different things that they need to work internally, like maybe icing, sugar, flour, butter, all those things. And then you forgot to order flour and someone needs a cake for tomorrow. What will you do? Will you magically turn yourself to the flour? Or you will go and call your executive and say, sorry, I forgot, and then let's like, can you not imagine? Just put yourself in that scenario. Or your boss has a speaking engagement and they have already even paid this boss for it, right? They have paid the boss for this speaking engagement already, and you, the administrative VA, gloriously forgot to schedule it on their calendar. Or maybe you even scheduled it on the calendar, but then you forgot to remind your boss. I hope you know that some of these executives are so busy that sometimes you need to give them multiple reminders, like even up until 12 hours before the meeting. Because trust me, some of them will forget to eat food. I remember this video I saw of Tomike Adeoye, like I think it's I can't remember how many years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember. And then she said something. She said she was supposed to travel out of the country, I think the next day. So let's say she was supposed to travel out of the country tomorrow, right? And what did she do? Somehow she mixed up her dates and she went to the airport today. Her trip was tomorrow. Is when she got to the airport today, that's when she realized that this, if I'm not prepared, I guess it was at the airport they told her that your trip is actually not today, it's actually tomorrow. That's what happens when you're dealing with executives, people that are like, they have a lot on their head. They have so much. Now, imagine if that kind of person has a PA and a virtual assistant, and that person messed up, forgot, and said, I forgot though. No, can you put yourself in that? Like, that is time wasted. that is money wasted. Because imagine she's going to drive from her house to the airport. That is even stress, which you could have used, which the time she could have used for something much better. So that's to tell you that as a VA, you can't afford to be slack, because it's just like, when somebody's like a backbone, or imagine a pillar in a house bending. The house is in trouble because that house can collapse. So as an assistant, you are supposed to be the backbone of your executive. They're supposed to be able to lean on you confidently. And you that you're leaning on, your leg is not even balanced. All of you will find yourself in the floor or in the ghetto. Do you understand? So please, as a VA organization, especially if you are an administrative virtual assistant, organization is key. It is very, 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 very key. Right? You have to be, even if you are still struggling with organizing your life as in yourself personally, please don't be a VA. Don't. Or maybe if you want to be a VA, you can maybe be like don't be a VA that has to do with administration or managing people's schedule or people's time. Because if you've not even finished managing your own self, how would you successfully and effectively managing another person without feeling like the whole world is resting on your shoulders? Do you understand it? So please, I took my time to explain this administrative VA, because that's like majority of the virtual assistant. This is literally what most people think is virtual assistants, to be honest, right? And most people also like lump this in as, even though most people lump this in as one, most of the attack, they just put everything under administration. So I'm taking my time to explain this, especially if this is where you're looking at. This is not a role where you can actually be slack. Please, it is extremely, extremely important. All right. So for those that have questions, I will take questions at the end of the class. But for now, what's happening in the comments? I'm seeing something about cybersecurity. What's going on? What's happening, please? Who is interrupting my class? Please, this is not cybersecurity class, please. Let me know if we're all together. Are we together, please? Are we together? I need to know. All right, fantastic. Yes. So please keep your questions to the end of the class. I will answer everything then. Okay, so we don't distract the class. Thank you. So I give an example here. Like you have Sarah, a virtual assistant in Port Harcourt, and she manages a tech founders inbox who lives in the US. So if you are Sarah here, just say amen to this, because I'm prophesying this in your life already. Sarah, you are a virtual assistant from Port Harcourt, and you're managing a tech founders inbox who lives in the US. And you respond to, so this is what you do basically. You respond to investor emails, you confirm meetings, you built templates that has saved your CEO's time, and the CEO calls you his second brain. So now, from this real life example, do you think this is something that you can just let me use Nigerian English, you can just branch? Look at this example I gave you. You have a tech founder who is possibly even trying to raise funding. And he has a lot of investors who are coming in, asking questions. Oh, how can we do this? Oh, we want to be a part of this. Oh, we want to this. Well, what is the and you don't even know what funding is. You don't even know the difference between Series A funding and pre-seed funding. How would you effectively be the CEO's assistant, please? So you see that virtual assistant is not something that you just do or what's the easiest way to branch into tech? Virtual assistant is the way, without fully understanding what it entails. Or imagine when you have an investor email you're supposed to respond to, and then you carry it to meet your CEO and say, please, CEO, what should I say? You are literally supposed to be taking burden, like load, away from his neck, and you are coming to him to say, what should I say? You don't even understand the difference between the different kinds of fundings that we have in the tech industry. Or your CEO, look at another example. You have built templates that saves your your CEO 6 hours of his time. That's what we're talking about. It's not sir, have you eaten? Yes. Okay, what will you eat today? Plantain and beans. Okay, I'll order it from. Come on, we've gone way beyond. You're not a messenger. We've gone way beyond that. For a CEO to call you his second brain, it means you must really be bringing value. If there's anything I want you to understand is that as a virtual assistant, you will need to bring value. Like I had said, you are the backbone. Imagine you have a pillar in a house that is bent. That house is about to collapse. So you are supposed to be your CEO's backbone. They're supposed to be your CEO's like pillar that he can easily lean on. He can go to sleep with his 2 eyes closed, knowing that with Sarah on my team, I will not miss any meeting. With Sarah on my team, I will not be double booked. Imagine if you had to double book a meeting. Maybe they came and 2 meetings, you because you were not organized properly, you booked 2 meetings on the same day at the same time for your CEO. One is in Lagos, one is in Abuja. So when the time comes, which one should he go for, please? He will divide himself because you're not able to put yourself together because you're not on top of things. Or your CEO had a meeting already scheduled, paid for, even flights booked by the organizers, and you, his amazing VA, forgot. And on the morning of the day when he was supposed to go for the meeting, you suddenly remembered just 2 hours to the meeting. In fact, his flight was already boarding. And then you're like, hey, they are, see you, so what will you do? I'm sure some of you just say, sir, I resign. Oh my goodness. So please, like I said, this is not something that you just branch into. If you're looking to bring value, you're not a messenger, right? You're not a messenger. You are a strategic business partner. You think like a business partner. You don't think like like some. You see, you can't be a virtual assistant and you're not even together. Hey, sir, please, what can I do? You don't even understand discretion. You don't understand confidentiality. You don't understand gatekeeping. You don't understand. You don't understand emotional intelligence. You don't understand how to read the room. You want them to tell you everything in black and white. You can't be a virtual assistant. You can't be an assistant. Sorry. So please, this is not the time for you to. The money will come. Trust me. Even you will be the one to be. You will say, I've taken on enough, right? But you need to be good at what you're doing for that money to come. Do you understand? All right. Thank you. So I think we've dealt with this part enough. We can go to the next slide. Sorry again. I'm sorry about the font size. I know it's a bit tiny, but please, somebody already suggested that you can turn your phone to landscape mode. It's bigger, and but I'll work on this for subsequent slides. Thank you for understanding. All right, so we move to the next type of VA. Technical VA. These are like the tech. So again, these ones are not so common, right? Because these ones are not very common, okay? Because again, like I said, a lot of people typically classify VA. Whenever you hear virtual assistant, most people classify it under tech VA. Administrative VA. That is it. They don't really realize that you can actually be a technical VA. You can be a tech VA. You can actually be an assistant, a technical assistant, right? You can. There are other types of virtual assistants that I would also go on to share later during the course of the class. But I took my time to explain the very first one because that's like the major one. Okay. All right. So moving on now, So let's go to technical VA. These ones are like these are the digital mechanics. Sorry, my Nigerian tongue is taking over. Digital mechanics. Oh, okay. So these are the digital mechanics, right? And these ones are, they set up, they manage, they troubleshoot systems. These are like the tech. Those are like very tech savvy. Those ones. That's what they do. Primary role. They build, they integrate. That they speak tech terms. Right? They build, they integrate, they maintain, digital systems behind your business. So, for example, you can have like maybe a client wants to set up a webinar, for example, or they want to launch a course creator, like I had an example here. A course creator wants to launch a new module, right? So this tech VA will want to set up the page they want to use. There's something called Kajabi. They'll set it up. They'll integrate Stripe for payments. Stripe is a payments platform through which you can make payments, right? They'll integrate Stripe, add it to their mailing list automatically. So you see, this is a bit more technical, right? So that's it. These ones are much more technical, right? They are much more, hands-on, even though, of course, administrative is also hands-on, but in terms of like the technical aspect of things, right? So this is not something that a regular administrative VA can do. So like I had given an example. For example, you have a course creator who wants to create a course. So if I come on the call and I tell one of you and I say, okay, I want to create a course. I want to create a course and I need you to help me with the whole process, the whole flow, from setting up my course page to payments to linking my course to my mailing list. Please, how many of you can do it for me? Like just randomly. How many of you can get that done? Let me see it. Let me see your hands. Let me see your response in the chat. How many of you can get that done? I'm waiting for your responses. Like I'm here and I'm like, okay, I need a virtual assistant for my online course. I want to launch a new online course and I needed to set up my page. I use Kajabi page, by the way, and then I want you to integrate it with Stripe for payments. And then after integrating with Stripe, I also want you to add it to my mailing list automatically. I don't want to have to do anything. I'm just going to pay you the money. How many of you can do that? Just like that. How many? Especially if you're not tech inclined. I can see a lot of people saying I can't, and some said I can. The I can't are more than the I can, and that's because this is much more specialized. So if you can, it's obviously because you've had tech experience. So now this is a plus for you guys who have tech experience, that you can actually become a technical assistant. So you guys even have more, like you guys even have what's it called? What's the word now? You guys who have this experience actually have leverage, because you can become administrative assistants and technical assistants. So if I have a role now that requires, maybe if I'm hiring for this particular role where I need someone to set up my new model for me, because of the technicality behind it, it has already reduced the pipeline. It has already reduced the applicants. And so you guys now have leverage. So can you see? Now, this is also a side note to those who says they can't. This is to make you understand that you need to upskill, increase your value system. You need to be able to give more, right? If I currently, like right now, I'm actually in the process of taking a course that is, so now this course, there are not a lot of women in that field. That's number one. Number two, even the men, there are not a lot of them. And so I like courses, I like places like that where the competition is fewer. Do you understand? Where there are not a lot of people there. And then, once you strike, you don't need to do too much talking or too much lobbying or too much speaking English, because there are not a lot of people who offer that service, who can give that value. So you are in high demand. Do you understand? So this is a side note to you people who do not have this skill. Now, if I was to hire for this role and I'm like, okay, I'm going to hire a virtual assistant and I come on this call. What this tells me is that out of how many people on this call, and I think as at last time I checked was about over 500 people, it means that out of about 500 people, the only people that can potentially get this job are about maybe just 4 or 5 of you here. Can you see? If I had asked this question, maybe with the administrative virtual assistant now, a lot of you would have said, oh, yes, I can do it. Now we have moved. And now the pipeline has started to reduce. So you see, it's more, the lesson here is you need to upskill and increase your value system. Look, if there's nothing you take out of this class, of this, and one thing is, you see value, don't joke with it. a lot of you, a lot of you try, I see a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but some people do is, what I see some people do, right, is they would, they want to chase money, 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 and then they don't even take time to build their value system, right? And then eventually, you find that most people, it can't work. You value first, money follows. Do you understand? So I think it's time for your attendance now. Okay, so it is going to, we are going to go in a break for 2 minutes at 8 o'clock for your attendance. By the time we come back, we'll continue. Okay, so mark your attendance, stretch your legs, drink water, and we'll be back at 8:10, 10 minutes past 8. Toodles. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you have taken your attendance and you were able to stretch your legs. You drank some water. I don't think attendance is sorted. Please let me know if we're good to go. Because I don't want my class to be interrupted because of attendance. So let me know if we're good to go. Okay, we're good to go. Fantastic. All right. So for people who have been asking about the assignment, don't worry. The technical support will give you further information as to how we are to submit it. Okay, so don't worry about that. To give you more information as to how we're going to submit our assignment. But if you're still having issues with the attendance, it says that it is you should it's something exit the chat box and click on more under the video. You'll find the attendance link there. Okay, so exit the chat box, click on more under this video, and you will find the attendance link in the description. So with that out of the way, can we please proceed with the class? No more attendance inquiries, please, so that we can focus. Thank you very much. All right, so let's continue. All right, so talking about technical assistance, and so like I said, so imagine if I was here and I was hiring for this role, it automatically means that a lot of you will not be able to apply for the role because you're not able to give me value. I mean, that's what it means. You're not able to give me value. Do you understand? So that's what it means, and that's a wake up call for you to upskill, for you to, like, even right now, you can basic most of us with the skills that we have is just literally around administrative virtual assistance. That's all. You can't do more than that because you don't have the skill. You cannot give the value. So this is a wake up call for you to desire more, right? And yeah, so basically that's is that about that. um you know for example, an example of a, let's imagine, okay, I already gave what success looks like. Automations work smoothly, users don't face glitches, systems talk to each other, and then the tools that they use, you have WordPress, you have Zapier, Kajabi, ConvertKit, Airtable, and some of these VAs actually go on to even become tech consultants or operations. Like, you can literally go on from there to becoming a tech consultant, right? Some of the tools that they use, CRMs, there are some of the systems mastery, CRM setup, email automation, funnel building, website updates, LMS configuration. If I tell someone, if I come here and I'm like, okay, I want to hire a virtual assistant that will help me with my LMS configuration, how many of you can actually do that? Right? So that's to tell you that there's more, right? There's more. Okay. So yeah, industries they can work in, of course, they can work with e-commerce, they can work with SaaS, they can work with real estate, health, basically any industry that requires tech infrastructure. Okay, they can work there. That's it. All right. Yeah. So moving on to the next, we have e-commerce. Now, so for people, I recall some people were saying things like, oh, they want to work with Vicky James, they want to work with Vicky James. So this is your time, like this is your niche, right? E-commerce VA. So the primary role is to keep the engine of an online store running. Okay, they support online store owners in keeping the store running smoothly. They support online store owners in keeping their stores running smoothly. from listings to logistics. So somebody who is an e-commerce VA, for example, their day-to-day would look like, oh, ensuring that, because I hope you know that with product listings, there's a way, you see, when you talk about like product listings on, okay, let me give you an instance. Now let me start with a brick and mortar store, like a physical store. How many of you remember, like, I mean, of course, obviously, I believe a lot of us have been to ShopRite, if not all of us here. Do you know that ShopRite, right? Most times when you enter into ShopRite, the first smell that will hit your nose is the bread. You know, that's the first, like, you want to come in, it just feels like there's one, the bread, if you don't have discipline, you will leave what you came to buy and you will go and look for that bread. That is merchandising. It's strategic. Imagine them going to throw their bread at the back of the building. Oh, the bread. So all those things are strategic. There's a way to arrange products online on shelves. There's a way to arrange them. There's a way to even sell products. There's something they call FIFO, first in, first out. So now imagine you are an e-commerce virtual assistant and you want to assist like a Vicky James. You don't even know what they call virtual merchandising. You've never even heard it before in your life. Please, how will you assist? What will you be assisting with? You don't even know what FIFO is. You're wondering, FIFO, is it football FIFA? You don't even know. Can you see? So now going back to my ShopRite analogy. So the first thing you will see is the bread. And you would not even, it's the smell. By the time you smell it, you start looking because the smell is so good. You start looking for the place, where is the bread, where is the bakery? Then when you get there, you will now see the food. You see different kind of snacks, pastries, and then you see their food. Meanwhile, you wanted to come and buy detergent, or you want to come and buy soap. But you see, if you don't have discipline, after you will buy the bread, and forget that you wanted to come and buy. It is strategy. Do you understand? There's a way you arrange goods online, offline, to ensure optimal sales. If you look at online stores, there's a way you list goods online such that you ensure optimal sales. Have you noticed that when you're online, on maybe like a Jumia, for example, and you buy something, once you click on something or you want to buy it, they will tell you similar people. What's that English? Most people who bought this product. Why are they telling? That's part of it. Because they want you to buy it too. So they are telling that you bought crayon. Oh, most people that bought crayon bought drawing book. Do you get it? Or you bought a scarf. This scarf. Most people that bought this pink scarf, they also bought the pink belt. Because they want you to buy. Some e-commerce stores, they will list similar products that you can buy. You bought a water bottle, similar water bottles. You bought a blender, you bought a dress. These are similar dresses. That is part of being an e-commerce virtual assistant. They are called product enablers. You won't just even though these things are online, there's a way to arrange goods online. You will not arrange the top. Now imagine if you want to buy something online, maybe you want to buy a dress or a two-piece, and then the only thing you are seeing is you're just seeing the picture of the top. You don't know where the trouser is. You have to go and search. Maybe the trouser is in the shoe section. Is that a good experience for even you as a customer? Then the top of the two-piece, you found it in the top section. Then the trouser is in the where shoes are. But look, once you even get tired and say, you know what, these people are not even serious. Once you get tired, that is it, right? That is it. So as a virtual assistant for an e-commerce, these are things you should understand. You are a product enabler. You need to keep the engine of an online store running. Do you get it? Ensure that, or imagine products are out of stock and you don't even know, or products. So let's say in your store, in the warehouse, they have maybe only 5 pairs of sneakers, right? And they have only these 5 pairs of sneakers, and you listed 5 pairs of sneakers on the online websites, and then these 5 pairs of sneakers have been paid, they've been bought and they've been sold out, and you, the amazing VA, did not, well, you were not keeping tabs on the record to know that these 5 pairs of sneakers have been sold out, and you left it. 2 more people bought, paid for delivery. They were even expecting their order today. So today you got a call and you are saying, and they're saying, oh, where is my order? And you're wondering, order for what? And then you went to check and realized that, this thing has been sold out already. What will you do, please? Will you manufacture the shoe and send to them? Or you will tell them to take another shoe that they don't want? Or you will say, please, let me give you a refund? Or what magic do you want to perform? So you see why you have to be on top of your game. And you see why you are called called a business partner, because you are literally thinking like the business owner. So if you decide to think of yourself as a messenger, you maybe you just be a messenger. But if you are an assistant, trust me, you are not just, if you are assisting something, imagine something, like I said, I use the analogy of a pillar. If a pillar is supposed to support the weight of a place, right? Imagine if the pillar is shaking. That's a disaster waiting to happen. So you need to be on top of your game as well. Now you can see how the different what's it called now? The different analogy, you can imagine how just one small mistake can cause a tornado effect. What do you think? Just because you forgot something, it can lead to effects. Because imagine the person who ordered the shoe they have a party they need to attend, and they've already bought an outfit that will match that shoe specifically. So what should they do, please? How would you explain that? Then you will not have to start stressing your executive that you are supposed to be taking the load off. You now come in and say, please, I could not, I forgot, why? So again, like I said, as an assistant, you need to be on top of your game. All right. So what are the common tasks? Update product listings, like I had earlier explained. Imagine your boss, imports maybe she imports new containers of shoes and maybe bags or clothes or fabrics. You did not upload it online. For 5 days, the product has just been there. You did not liaise with the on-site team to take pictures and send to you so you can upload. You didn't do anything. And then 5 days after, your boss is asking you, why am I not seeing these things? And I say, I forgot. And they should have so it means you have potentially lost 5 days worth of sales. Can you see why you are not a messenger? Can you see it? And you see why you need to be a good organizer. Because if you have not fully known how to organize that's why as a VA, you need to sit yourself down and first of all ask yourself, personally first, am I together? Have I gotten my own self together? Before you will bring on somebody else or someone else's business. Because you don't want to ruin someone else's sweat or because the last thing you want to do is add to someone's headache as a virtual assistant. You don't want to do that. All right. So please, that's it. So some of your tasks, as if you are looking to go into this niche, you have to learn all the things that you do: update product listings, inventory checks. Even if you're not there physically, you need to be able to liaise with the team. Oh, this shoe, how many pairs? At the end of the day, how many did we sell today? Which of them do I need to put sold out? Which of them do I need to bring back in stock? Which shoe is coming up? Even when you're arranging a product, are you putting a blue shoe on a color? As in, how are you arranging it so that it can look appealing to the online audience? Those are the things you should be thinking about. If you come on board as an e-commerce VA, and you come over and you see your boss's online shop and it's not looking good, it's not looking optimized, you tell her, oh, how about we arrange it like this? Put the shoes together, put the sneakers in one section, put the jewelry in another section. How about we implement the search feature so that people can search for things, and when they search, even if we don't have that thing, we can suggest similar products to them. Oh, can we have a mailing list so that even when people buy things, when we have new things in store, we can always send them emails, say, oh, we now have more things in store. Can we have like a waiting list for people who probably want things that are sold out and those things are not available yet? So we can, put them on our waiting list. And when those things come into the country, we can let them know that's how to add value. You don't say yes, yes, yes every time. You are just waiting for instruction, input, output, input, output, input. No, you have reasoning. That's why you are hired. So let them see it. Do you understand? Always remember, I'm not a messenger. I'm a strategic business partner. That's who I am. So if you should get hired in any organization, just see yourself as, okay, I'm part owner here. Even though you're not part owner on paper, but in terms of your tasks, your daily duties, I'm a part owner. So I'll be thinking of how to add value. How do I increase revenue? Don't say, which one is my own with revenue? Are they paying me enough for this? There's nothing like that. Let value speak. And trust me, the money will come. You will get referrals, you get recommendations. You become an asset. They don't want to let you go quickly. Do you understand? All right. So that's one thing you should understand. Learn. Even if you don't know, let me go and check. What do they do on other websites, e-commerce websites? Let me learn. Or I say, I cannot. Some of us, our favorite senders. I cannot kill myself. I cannot go and kill myself. Anyway, moving on. So some of your industries, right, where you can function as a VA, as an e-commerce VA, you have drop shipping, fashion brand. So all you people that say you want to work with Vicky James, you can see. These are part of it. For someone like for someone like Vicky James, there will be a lot of moving parts. It's not just only clothes. That kind of person that produces on a large scale. Imagine if you are maybe like an e-commerce virtual assistant. You have a lot of things. Some of it can even be procurement. Imagine you are e-commerce virtual assistant and you are there to ensure that, her products are listed up. But I don't know if she has any online store though. I doubt if she does. But just imagine if she does. Do you know how many different designs that she has? You have to list them maybe according to design, according to color. You put tags on them to ensure that they are easily well found. Ensure that you ensure that when you are arranging the clothes online, the top is not bent, because the clothes are luxury. So you have to ensure that everything is properly. It is work. It is intentional. Like I said, this is not Mogbomo branch. It's not that. It is intentionality. Do you understand? Please. Okay, so let's move on. So yeah, this is it. Okay, so this is another what's it called now? Another story, another example. So I'm like a VA in Ibadan support. So if you're a VA in Ibadan, please claim this. A VA in Ibadan supports 2 Etsy stores. And by the way, please, if you want to be an e-commerce VA and you don't know what an Etsy store is, what are you really doing? Please, what are you? Where should we start from? Please, if you know you want to do these things, this is the time for you to go and begin to research your industry and find out what's going on in that industry or that place you want to niche in, so that these things don't sound like Spanish to your hearing, okay? So, again, like I said, if you're an AVA in Ibadan, just claim this. So, AVA in Ibadan supports 2 Etsy stores owned by a woman in Canada. This VA now creates product titles, answers queries at orders. By orders, obviously, if they're in Canada, what orders will be for them will not be an order for us here. Do you get it? So that's the beauty. And of course, update stock, all while making $700 per month. Please, can somebody help me convert $700 to Naira, today's rate, and see how much it is? And you're not even working full-time. You're not working full-time. So please, like I said, the money is there, but please, the value has to be there as well. So, moving on to the next one. Content and social media virtual assistants. This is another popular one as well, where you see people say things like, oh, I want a virtual assistant to manage my social media page. I want a virtual assistant. Oh, Fortune did the calculation for us, 1,134,000. So imagine doing that from the comfort of your home, and you don't want to add value. Hey, okay, I won't say more than that. So So now we're going to the next one, which is content and social media VA. And these are the kind of, we can call them the voice amplifiers, right? The digital, the digital storytellers. And these ones, they make sure your brands, these are the ones that make noise about your brands. They make sure your brands don't go unnoticed online. They amplify your voice. They humanize the message. They make sure you sound like a human being, not like a robot. They humanize your message. They create trust. Like, they make sure that people can trust your brand. These ones, they are the ones that will carry, they will make noise about your brand on social media. So if this is where you want to play in, please ensure that you have the required skills. If this is not just saying, she was there, it's not just to respond to messages and just answer messages. What? If there's anything you should have understood by now, is that there's nothing like, is it not just here? There's nothing like that. There's nothing like, is it not just anything? I told you from the beginning, this is not VA, because like I said, if you go to a lot of all this crash, some of these crash tech courses, they'll tell you, oh, if you want to just look for one very simple skill that you can use to enter into tech, virtual assistants always come up. It's not as it seems. Now we are going into it and you can see the nitty gritty. This is not a place for you to come and be and learn. I want to come and learn the ropes. They don't learn the ropes here. You learn the ropes before you come in. You can only improve on the rope you have learned before coming in. Do you get it? All right. Thank you. So moving on. So content and social media, right? So like I said, these are the ones that make noise about you. They are noise makers. Like, they ensure that your brand is not forgotten. Your brand is not forgotten by your customers. That your even if they when I say something is living rent free, they will build a house in people's real estate, in people's minds, with your brand name. That's what they do, right? They help brands show up consistently online and build a loyal audience. When they need to show up, they show up. Do you get it? They show up. Your brand cannot go unnoticed. This, I don't need to talk too much about this one. You see it. Some of these our business owners, a lot of them, well, maybe not a lot, but at least a good number of them do not handle their social media on their own because they have a lot of things to do. So if you see all this, like most of your celebrities and all that, I see people responding to your not DMs now, your comments, and all. Some of them actually have social media assistants that are working behind the scenes. Do you get it? So yeah. But yeah, so that's what they do, right? They help you show up more consistently online, build a loyal audience for you. And some of the things that they do, they create captions, they repurpose your content. So for example, you posted something in 2022, they'll bring it back, repurpose it, make it really nice, make it better, make it new, post it again and all that. They manage your content calendar. Okay, so what should we do today? Let's do a day in the life of, so they'll tell you, okay, so send me pictures of you in your room, send me pictures of you in your when you are in the trying to get to the car, send me a picture that all those things now, all those paparazzi things that they do. That's what they basically. And the thing is, it doesn't even have to be only corporate brands, even personal brands as well. Their major aim is to ensure that they constantly show up online and build a loyal audience. That's what they do. Okay. So I don't need to really talk so much about that because I believe a lot of us know what that is about. And so what success looks like here is, engage people. Most people, like, what success like that, they engage posts regularly, they answer DMs, and they increase your engagement, basically. That's what they do. Increase the engagement. So, and this VA, again, one thing is this particular VA does not just post. They understand tone. Do you know some of your celebrities, right? Some of them, you don't even know when they are the ones posting and responding to you and when they are not. And that's because their content and social media VA has mastered how to sound like them. Do you get it? How to sound like they are the ones. That's how good, like, that's how mastery is. Like, they get to the point where if they are even chatting with you, you will not know it is not Vicky James that is chatting with you, or you will not know it's not Tomike that is chatting with you, or one of them. You think they are the ones because they are assist. I'm not saying I don't know if Vicky James has a response. I just use it as an example. Or Tomike, I don't know if they have assistants that respond to them, that responds on their behalf. I just use their names as examples because I know we can relate to a lot of them. But yeah, like I said, you find out that some of them actually don't even respond themselves. It's their assistant, and you will not even know because they have mastered the art of responding like them. Do you understand? So that's it. We need to get to the point where, so that's mastery, right? They're not sounding like robot. They're not bringing ChatGPT, copy and paste, bah, and then you just sit and like, this is ChatGPT response. You just know that this person copied them. They're not doing that. They are doing originality. They are mastering originality. They understand storytelling. They know how to make use of trends to boost engagement. They are up to date. Imagine a social media VA that does not know what is trending. Their executive is asking them, this, and they're like, okay, it happened. Who should be telling who? Do you understand? Or you'll say, sorry, sir, I don't have light. I don't have light for the past 3 days, so I could not respond to comments. Really? Okay, I will not say more than that. But yeah, that's that about social media VAs. So now, executive VAs. So these are the ones we can even call the strategic partner. We can call these ones the strategic partners, high-level gatekeepers. Now, those of you who were mentioning Otedola, those of you who were mentioning Pastor Iye Adeboye, those of you who were mentioning Pastor Leke Adeboye, those of you who were mentioning Dangote. So let's come together for a family meeting because this is one that concerns us. So you see these guys, these executive VAs, we call them the strategic partners. These ones, these ones are more than VAs. These are the people you call force multipliers. You can call them force multipliers. It's a high-level decision makers. Let me tell you something. When I think this man, Tony Elumelu, his personal assistant, the person who was his personal assistant, was promoted to the role of, one second, let me look for it. I can't remember. Tony, UBA has like a lot of different subsidiaries. He was promoted to head one of their subsidiaries, his PA, his former PA. So for him to have gotten to that point to head a whole subsidiary, you know that he wasn't just doing messenger. He wasn't just saying yes, no, yes. He wasn't just doing all of that. He was bringing real value. He was strategic. I'm sure he must have been thinking like a Tony Elumelu himself. Have you not seen assistants that actually represent their executives? Like the executives are so busy and the assistants will represent them. So imagine if you are doing yes, and then you are expected to represent your executive on a panel session with other high-level executives. Please, what will you go and say? What will you say if you've not developed yourself, you've not built yourself, you've not upskilled, you're not learning about what's happening in the industry that your executive is playing in, you're not doing all those things. You're just doing copy and paste. Yes, sir. Input, output, input, out. So what can you even, or have you not seen assistants that actually go on foreign trips with their executives? Guys, there are levels to these things. There are levels to these things, please. There are levels to these things. So please, I want us to change that mindset. I want us to become more intentional. I want us to become more value driven. Okay, much more value driven. It's very important. So now for the executive virtual assistants, discretion and judgment. Do you get it? Discretion and judgment. Like this kind of people are people that manage sensitive data, manage contracts. Some of them even are the ones that handle salaries in the companies. They handle investor pitches. Can you pitch? Imagine you are an assistant to a Dangote, and he tells you and says, "Oh, I am not available. I'm supposed to have a Zoom meeting with foreign investors from Spain, and I want you to sit in on that meeting. We need to seal a contract for our refinery, and you're going to be the one to represent me. What will you say? You say, what will you say in that meeting? Tell me. You say, oh, sir, sit where? What will you say in that meeting, please? So now, can you see that? You see you see these people, you see executive VAs. No. These ones are high level. They are high level. Like, trust me, very high level. These are the ones that deal with sensitive data. These are the ones that know they can tell you the net worth of their executive. They don't have their mouths are not leaking. Running like tap. Anything you see, you say. Anything you see, as in these ones, they maintain utmost confidentiality. Do you understand? These are the ones, they also understand prioritization. When you see these ones guarding their CEO's time, you would think that there's more to this. Like, is it more than this one? I'm telling you. And another thing that I want to add is, even though we have executive assistants that are virtual, some of them actually, because of how high level this is, especially if you want to work with like those roles that are really up there, you might actually sometimes have to be physical. So for example, you're traveling, they want to travel to maybe like Spain or travel out of the country, or just want to attend like a very high, imagine going for a meeting with maybe UN delegates, United Nations delegates, or meeting with the president of the country. And then even you don't even know how to comport yourself when you are in the middle of high net worth people. You cannot even to carry that. You carry books, everything falling on the floor because you are shaking. You saw maybe you saw the president of Nigeria there. You are just vibrating. You don't even know how to arrange yourself. So you see that you cannot. This is not just. You need to. You see, if other executives can still be getting away with other niches, if they can still be getting away with maybe little mistakes, see this one. Is this one are not unforgivable? Do you understand? Unforgivable mistakes, because it is there. Like, imagine being an executive of a tornado and you mixed up his dates, you mixed up his flights, or you forgot his appointment. How do you want to? You're supposed to meet with the president of Nigeria and you forgot. Please, which explanation, or how is the English? How do you want to explain it? Just go and say, sir, I beg to resign. Because what will you say? You know, you can still manage the other one and say, okay, please, I'm sorry. And then they can beg. Where do you want to start the begging from? So you see why you can't. These ones, they are high level. If you are not there, don't even bother. Just let's maintain the other niches that you can still make small mistake and then they will pardon you. Do you get it? Or if you imagine if your executive tells you and says, oh, I want to raise $1 million. Some of you say $1 million or $1 million naira. Some of you have never, you cannot even imagine, like, or please, what do you want to say to raise $1 million? You'll be looking at it, say, okay, prepare slides. I need you to carry out research on the latest market. You're looking at him like, slides, market what? You've not even heard of it before. So please, this niche is, I've seen people in this niche that actually have MBAs. Like, they literally, I know MBAs are not cheap. I've seen an MBA of, I think, about 80 million naira before. And you want to be an executive assistant. I'm telling you. I think I've seen someone that went to Harvard to study and he's an EA. Is it Harvard or I can't remember if it's one of these schools abroad. And the person is an executive. So if you see this place, let's leave for the big boys. If you're not there, if you don't want to go and embarrass your family, just leave it for those big. I'm not saying you cannot do it though, but please do it when if you're sure that your two legs are standing well. If you're not sure, my people, don't do it, because the consequences are disaster. They are disaster. You will the way they will chase you. In fact, they can even arrest you. You cannot be arrested if you're not careful. Do you get it? So please, right? Please. So let me just quickly take this question. It says, Kaya said, this is looking like a personal assistant, because I believe the beauty of virtual assistant should be remote. I said earlier that for this particular niche, this particular executive VA, if you are looking to work with this kind of people, because of how high level they are, they would require you to come in physically. it will most likely be physical or hybrid. I already mentioned because of how high level this particular niche is. So some of them would require that you work with them physically. Some of them might require that you go with them to high functions, executive functions. Some of them might even require that you travel with them out of the country. I mentioned that that's this because of the caliber of people that you're working with here. I already mentioned that earlier. That's for Kayode Akomu. So yeah, that's that about that. So for these guys, trust me, there's a lot of money here. Like the big boys roll here. I'm telling you, when I say a lot of money, like these ones even earn like CEOs themselves because it's a lot of strategic thinking. Do you get it? Like it's a lot of strategic thinking, it's a lot of confidence. Imagine you are standing representing your executive before the United Nations delegates, and you have to talk and talk sense and talk like you're talking like them. It's a lot of confidence, it's a lot of strategic thinking, it's a lot of proactivity. You have to be very proactive. They can't tell you this kind of role, they cannot tell you everything. It's a crime. If they tell you everything, no, what are you doing there? You know, so this part, you know, these are kind of people that we call chief of staff even. Do you get it? So yeah. But yes, so that's it. I just wanted to talk to you people who mentioned that you want to work with people like you were talking about, like Toli Elumelu, sorry, Dangote, Otedola, and all. Yes, I'm not saying it's not possible. It's possible, but please ensure that you are well equipped for it. Don't go and embarrass. Please don't embarrass us when you get there. All right. Okay. So again, this is one of the most demanding but very high paying virtual assistants. It is very, trust me when I say it is demanding, because you're this kind of people, they don't understand. I've closed by 5 o'clock and I resume by 9. They don't understand it though. They can tell you they have a very high level meeting. They need you to set up a Zoom call by 2 a.m. and you are there because it's very. Do you get it? So there's nothing. Sir, I've closed. Wow, we don't have light in our house. There's nothing like that in this niche, right? So it's very, very demanding. And like I said, because of the kind of niche that it is, some of them would require that you even travel with them physically. Some of them require that you represent them on very high level panels, you know, take high level meetings, right? And it's important. Your communication skills have to be top notch. You can't say, you know, a lot of us use fillers a lot. Social. You can't do all those things there, right? So your communication has to be top notch. Initiative, you need to understand initiative. You need to understand damage control. You cannot, you know, maybe there's a little issue like, hey, yeah, what will I do? Oh, Dangote, what should I do? How does that even sound? As I just said it now, how did that sound even in your ears? Do you understand? So please, right? Please, it's very, very, very important. Yeah. So initiative, very, very important. Okay, so now let's move on to the next. So we have real estate virtual assistants. This one is not a very common niche. It's not a very, very common niche, to be honest, right? So this one, you can just call them pipeline protector, property pipeline. It's not really common in this part of the world. It's very common abroad because you have things like you have leads, appoints, and property. So there's not, but in this part of the country, it's not really common. So I'll just brush over this. Basically, what do? You know, they support property agents with lead management, paperwork, and communication, right? So they track listings. You know, like I said, it's not really common here, but abroad, you know, there's this thing abroad where, excuse me, there's this thing abroad where they you know, if you want to get a house, you have to go online, check the listings, you know, check if it's available, all of that long process. Unlike Nigeria, where you just call one agent and say, oh yeah, I want to come and see house, you know. And even though, yes, I know we have a couple of online like Property Pro and all, but it's not very cool. See, the traditional one is that agent. Just call one agent that knows somebody and you go and see the house, right? But abroad, it's much more there's a lot more process to it abroad, right? And you know, you have to list it, you have to check online, you have to book appointments and all of that. So that's why this comes in handy, right? So what you do is that you support the agents themselves with lead management. You get leads, people that are interested in houses, right? You get them for them online. You know, you do the paperwork, like because again, they'll require you to bring a lot of like paperwork, your numbers, your name, your all those security numbers, all those things, basically your tax, whatever, your source of income, all those things that they require. So they would require you to do that. Okay, so yeah, that's about that. You just, but most of us, some of what you'll be doing is you're going to be uploading property. So maybe if a property comes up in the market, maybe there's a new house or there's a vacant house, you send you pictures, you upload the pictures, ensure that the information is accurate. Imagine, don't put a house that is in Texas. Don't say the house is in Canada. Do you understand? Please put accurate information. Do you get it? List properties. The house has a 3-bedroom. Don't say it's a 5-bedroom. Put the accurate information, list the properties and all correctly, basically. And so your industry here is real estate agencies, obviously, independent agents, right? We have all, the way we have agents in Nigeria, we have them abroad, but it's not like Nigerian agents, please. These ones are much more organized, much more structured. So for people like that, they would need people that will help them, list the houses, put up the pictures, describe the houses, right? And all that, when there's also get leads, people that are interested, get leads, book appointments, all those things. Yeah, so that's what they do. So again, I give another example. For example, Chukwemeka in Enugu. So if you're a Chukwemeka and you're in Enugu, please claim this. Works for a realtor in Florida, and every day he reviews new leads. So I believe you should understand what leads are. Imagine if Chukwemeka now does not know what leads are. He wants to work with a VA, a real estate VA. Where do we start from now? So Chukwemeka in Florida, you review new leads, schedule house tours. So maybe Mark and who now? Maybe Mark wants to view a house in Florida, and then you're able to get the lead. You schedule the house tour with the agent. Mark goes in, views everything. You send him the brochure. He views it. He's happy with it. He will go view the house and all those things that they do. Right. So that's just about that. It's nothing really serious there. Again, like I said, it's not really common here in Nigeria because our house, property, whatever, it needs help, really. But yeah, I know we're getting there. So, customer experience virtual assistants. Yay, this is the one everybody knows. This is the last one, by the way. So, this is also a very common one. You're the go-to person. You're the client's best friend. You're the go-to person for the client, when they're confused, when they're not happy, when they're stuck, but they don't know what to do. Where's my order not here? I ordered plantain and I'm seeing rice. Or I ordered a size 8 dress. Why am I seeing a size 12? You are their person, okay? You ensure that every customer feels heard. That's what you're there to do. You're not there to say, what? Yeah, the only one Nigeria is annoying. Me, if I'm in Nigeria, there's nothing like that. Do you get it? So you're there to ensure they are treated well. You are there to ensure that they return. That should be your goal. That every customer that interacts here should return and refer others. As a customer experienced virtual assistant, you should be a relationship builder. Don't say, it's all of us that Nigeria is. There's nothing like that. You have to be on top of your game. It should be your goal that every customer that interacts with me, they must leave happy and satisfied. That should be your goal. Do you get it? It should be your goal. Every customer that will say, do you know that some companies, right, when they it's not like your product is that great though, but they will come back because of the experience you gave them. That should be your goal. Like, that should be like every customer that, as long as they interact with me, even if they come in angry, they want to pull down the whole social media, as long as I will ensure that they are calm. I will ensure that they live happy, fulfilled. Like, even if they don't buy, this experience that I'm giving them, they will not forget it. That should be your goal. Okay? So for this one, you have to have a lot of patience. So you cannot be somebody that will be getting angry anyhow. And anyway, thank God it's virtual, so it's not, people cannot throw punch at each other. But you have to be very, very patient. Do you get it? Extremely patient. Ensure, again, like I said, they have to feel seen. They have to feel heard. They have to feel valued. I'm telling you, that terrible customer experience agent. I'm like, if you don't want to do the job, maybe you will sit down. You will not do. Why are they forcing you? I'm telling you, very terrible. So you have to You see some customer experience, they don't, no, no. It's terrible. It's very terrible. So please, if you decide to be a customer experience, somebody hires you and says, I want you to assist me in attending to my customers, please. Because you can literally kill that business by how you handle customers. Because customers is the lifeblood of a business. If they don't have customers, will they wear their clothes or eat their food by themselves? No. So you have to treat every customer with care. So I know that customers can be annoying. I know. But that's where tact comes in. If you're someone that you feel like, they used to get angry in my village, please stay in your village. You and your village will stay until God delivers you from that anger. Do you understand? Don't come and pour sand inside someone's business because they used to get angry in your village. So please, you need a lot of patience, you need a lot of tact, you need a lot of positive energy when you're dealing with customers, because there are some people that I tell you, they can be very, very annoying. Please, okay? So some of the things that you're using, some of the tools that you're using, live chats, email support, onboarding customers, showing them how to do certain things. Oh, this is how to do things. This is how to resolve complaints. Or this is what to do. That is what to do. And, some customers can ask you even the most basic things. What is visible? They can literally see it on this. They don't like to read. They'll come and ask you. Answer them with grace. Do you understand? If you need to point them back very lovingly, please refer to XYZ on our website. And just be very kind. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. Be very proactive, be very pleasant, right? With your in your output and your approach. Okay, so some of the industries that you can function in: e-learning, SaaS, wellness brands. Basically, most industries that require customer interaction, you can function there. Okay, so please, another thing that ensure that you have. One thing you should also ensure to get is, when you're instead of setting goals, right, ensure that response time under 2 minutes. I'm telling you, it's one of the things that you can do. Maybe when you started to handle that person's business, they had a problem with long response times. People will not get answers 3 days. People will make inquiries 24 hours, they've not gotten a response. You can come in and say, okay, I want to change this. Let this even be my first project. I want to make sure I cut down response time to at least minimum 5 minutes. Everybody gets a response. That's an achievement. And after 3 months, go and meet and show workings. When I came, the response time, average response time was 24 hours. Now it's now under 5 minutes. Show workings. When I came, most of the inquiries, about 50% do not end up in purchases. But now when I came, 80% of inquiries have started ending up in sales. That is workings, man. And that's how to show that you're an asset. Do you get it? Not I'm sure it's my own. I met it like this, so I cannot keep myself. Please. Like I said, we're people of value here. All right? Complaint resolution. The customer brings a complaint to you. Even if you don't have the answer, thank you for da. Give them a timeline for when you get back to them. Find a way to resolve it. Go back to them. Give them timely updates. That's how to be pleasant. That's how to give a good experience. Customer satisfaction. Let the customer say, you sabi this work. Thank you. Let the customer. I'm telling you, I've had times where I've had customers mention my name on Twitter and say, so and so person. This person is really. That person deserves. Do you get? You've seen customers like, this person, give this person a raise. This person is so good. I'm telling you. Okay. So yeah. Customer experience VAs, they collect feedback. They help improve product as well. That's another thing that you can do. Ask them, how do you hear your customers? Don't say, what do you know? Do you get? Hear your customers? What do you want? How can we improve your experience? Is there anything that you're seeing here, that or anything that you want to see and we do not have? Gather it, take it to your executive. See what I was able to do. If, for example, maybe your executive before now did not have a follow-up system after they bought, maybe after they've sold, somebody has bought something from her store and there's no follow-up system, maybe after 1 or 2 days, how was it? What's your feedback? You can implement that and say, I implemented a feedback system, from customers, a way for them, or I opened a feedback loop where they can share feedback on the product that they purchased, and all those things. These are the things that show that this person is really thinking like me. This person, I can confidently go on vacation and leave this person and my business will not suffer. That's how to be a very, very, very strategic business partner. Okay? And with that, we've come to the end of today's class. Now, this is our class activity. I don't know, should I turn it into an assignment? Because I don't have time. Okay, let's turn it into an assignment. So now I just have 2 tasks. Okay, this was supposed to be a class activity, there's no time. So what excites you about the role? Now we've talked about different roles and everything. So which one excites you, right? And then list 3 skills. Which one excites you the most? So which, first of all, is which VA type matches you? Which one out of all the ones that have been listed, which one do you see and say, this one is me, this is my name, this one has my name on it? So which VA type matches you? That's the first. And now, so this VA type that matches you, what excites you the most about it? That's one. List 3 skills you already have that matches this role. And then the last one is, which 2 tools do you need to be great at this role? So that's just it. So you're going to submit it alongside the other assignments, which I believe the technical support, please, I need you to assist them so that I can get my assignments tomorrow. All right, so that I know where to submit. So yeah, I can take about a question or 2 before we call it a day. So who wants to ask a question? Oh, somebody said real estate VA. Fantastic. Okay, love it. Oh, Adiola says, how did you know so much about all of this? And secondly, what skills do I need to acquire as executive VA or administrative VA? How did I know about so much? I think because I have experience. I have experience. I read, I research, research experience as well. I've been an assistant before, so I know. I think I was an assistant for about how many years before I moved from. So yeah, I have experience and all. What skills do I need to acquire as executive VA? Executive VA. So I think I already mentioned some of the skills that you need. Let me see if I can go back to that class. So that slide rather. Okay, so I didn't add skills here. Well, as an executive VA, you need a lot of high profile skills. You need to be communication skills. Yeah, I mentioned it's communication. You need to be a very good communicator. Like, you need to learn how to communicate. When you say that there are communications and there are communications, high level communications, right? So you need that. You need and communication is not only speaking. I hope you know. Communication is also in writing. Even non-verbal communication, you can literally not be saying anything with your mouth, but you're communicating with your body. So non-verbal communication, so these are things I need to learn. So administrative VA, you need to understand organizing, everything that basically helps you to organize better, time planning, calendar management, scheduling, and all. So yeah, that's it. What else again? So somebody said administrative VA, I can organize for Africa. Okay, Santa. I hope you know that it's not only organization that you're going to be doing there, but that's a good basis. Difference between a social media manager and a social media VA. So, well, that's it. It's virtual. That's the difference. A social media manager can be required to be present on sometimes. I've seen a social media manager that had to go into the clients. I had to go to take pictures for the clients, like physically. So yeah, sometimes as a social media manager, you may be required to physically physically be present, or maybe the client has like a pop-up event and you have to be there, right? So, but then the thing is that even as a social media manager, you are also an assistant. I hope you know. So even though people don't tend to call it assistant, you're actually assisting. So yeah. All right. Okay, somebody said, I see that as an admin VA, I must be exceptionally organized and not careless. But there's no room. But is there no room at all for mistakes? Since I'm human and it seems really heavy, if there's no grace at all for mistakes. So it's not like there's no grace, but ensure your mistakes are not heavy mistakes that can cost. You can make maybe, first of all, the mistakes need to be few and far apart. Like maybe when you make one mistake today now, maybe the next mistake should be like in next 3 months. Not that you make a mistake today, tomorrow another one, next tomorrow, and then the mistake should please not be mistakes that should not be. There's some things that should not be heard of, right? When it comes to certain professions. Take for example, now maybe your pilot tells you that this pilot class, so this pilot when I was in school, I don't really read like that. I just did copy and paste. I use ChatGPT. She please, who will want to enter that kind of plane? Do you understand? Because if maybe like a caterer said they use ChatGPT now to learn how to do their catering, you can still manage it and say, okay, it's not very, we can go by. But your pilot said, I will not want to, thank you. let me stay. Do you understand? So there are some things, even if you want to make a mistake, please let it be like a pardonable mistake. Don't make a mistake such that it will cost your company money, cost your company millions, because you don't have, you can't, because you, and it's not an avoidable mistake entirely. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's it. So somebody said, is there, okay, every kind of VA you mentioned, Jane Timothy said every kind of VA you mentioned has a lot of work to be effective at. Can an internship help, or will I have to work on myself to be first good before applying, since learning on job can be risky? So I don't know if Jane Timothy was here earlier, but I had mentioned that you hardly see, I don't know if there are, but you will hardly see virtual assistant internships. That's because the people you are assisting, they have their hands full already. So they don't have time to begin to hold your hands and say, okay, carry one step, carry the second step, do it like this. Do, maybe if it's your family member, maybe your sister, is the one that you're assisting. But if you are looking to, no, imagine like you are working with a Dangote now. Please, you think that say, oh no, 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 oh, don't do that way. This is not how you do it, okay? Now, okay, so yeah, look at this. This is how you type a letter on Microsoft Word. You think it's gonna have time for that? Do you get it? You think it's gonna really have time for that? So that's what I'm telling you. That when it comes to virtual assistant, these people, there's no luxury of time for them to begin to hold your hands, because they are, for them to even hire you, it means they themselves are very busy. So they need someone to quickly take the load off them so they can focus on strategic things, leadership, leading, building. Do you get it? So imagine someone that is so busy and they need someone, you think they would, you hardly see it. Okay, so that's why I said for things like that, I already said the last time that you can reach out to, if you're looking to gain experience, reach out to a friend or reach out to somebody who maybe has like a small scale business. Like, oh, I want to help you. I want to become an administrative VA for 3 months. This is what I'm going to start doing. I want to do this for you because I want to gain experience. I want to build my portfolio. And then when they do that, when you want to start assisting other people, don't go and jump and apply to be a Tony Elimelu's VA. Please start from somewhere, right? A place where you know that if you make a mistake, heads will not roll, or they will not go and arrest you and say you have to, or the mistake cost you 500 million naira. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, I think that's it. So I think we have gotten to the end of this class. Because of time, we will not really be able to take a little bit more questions. Okay. But yeah, I hope today's class was helpful for you. And I hope you got value from the class. We meet again tomorrow by God's grace. Can a married woman with kids be a virtual assistant? Yes, absolutely. That's the answer. Yes, you can. You can, depending on the industry, depending on the person you are managing, depending on what you're doing. Yes, you can be a virtual assistant. Okay, depending on if you have even been able to properly manage yourself, your children. Imagine if you are still struggling with balancing the home front. You can't add another person's life now. So balance your home front. If your home front is properly taken care of, you have an understanding partner. You are able to, your home front is properly balanced. Then you can now add someone else's task, life to yours. But yes, you can absolutely can. Even if you have children, you're married, yes, you can do it. Can a student be a VA? Yes, it's still the same answer. As long as you're able to manage yourself, manage your studies, nothing is affected, and you will not use your studies. Now, imagine if you're supposed to show up on a task and then say, sorry, I was in class. You need to be able to balance things in a way that your studies will not affect your work and your work will not affect your studies. So yes, you actually can. All right, so I think with that, we've got to the end of today's class. Technical support, please. I want my assignments tomorrow. I need you to guide the students on how to submit their assignments. Please, it's very important. So guys, two assignments tomorrow. This one on the screen and the one from Monday. Have a blessed night, everybody. Bye-bye.